Recently, I asked my Discord community what topics they'd like me to do videos on. And multiple times, people asked me, if I had to start from zero today, what would I do? And it's a really good question because the world is so different today than it was when I was broke. And I've tried so many different things that I know exactly what I would do if I was starting from scratch now. So that's what we're gonna talk about in today's video. If you're new to my channel, my name's Ryan Pineda. I'm a real estate investor and entrepreneur, and the goal of this channel is to help people start living the wealthy way. If you have no idea what that is, go to wealthyway.com and you can get access to our free course, our free planner, and our free Discord community. So go check it out. Now let's start off by describing what zero actually is. I'm gonna make a few assumptions. I'm gonna start off by assuming that I have a place to live and I'm not homeless. I'm also gonna assume that I've got a phone and internet. When you're starting from scratch, you've gotta define what your actual goal is. Is it to become a millionaire as fast as possible? Are you trying to build a sustainable long-term business? There are many different things that you can go for when you're starting from zero. For example, some of my businesses like social media took a long time to build and they weren't necessarily profitable right off the bat. And then others like flipping furniture and things on Craigslist could make money today, but they're not necessarily what you want to be doing long term. So all that being said, I realize that there's a 5-step plan that it takes to go from zero to millionaire. And regardless of whether you want to be a millionaire or not, you can follow each step and decide how far you want to go. So the first step I would take if I had absolutely no money is I would start flipping couches. Couch flipping is one of those things where you don't need anything to start up. There are plenty of people posting free ones on Craigslist or OfferUp. So even if you have $0, you can still start making income right away by picking up the couch, cleaning it up, going and selling it, and making a profit. And if you want the full in-depth tutorial on how to do that, I've done multiple couch flipping videos, which I will link to down below. And you could see a ton of other people who have followed that method on YouTube, and they are making great money. I fully believe that even if you have $0 today, you can make $5,000 this next month if you just do everything that's detailed in those videos. And for me in this first step, that's exactly what I would be aiming for, because I know that at $5,000 a month, I can actually start living and start doing other things. I now have a sustainable income and I can live way below that if I just do the right things. Once you've built it up to that level where you've made $5,000, I want you to do step 2, which is to join Future Flipper. Future Flipper is my education company where we teach people how to get into real estate investing and how to build a business around it. Whether you want to flip, wholesale, or buy rentals, we teach you how to do it. Now, the point of this video is not to be a sales pitch. I am just honestly telling you what I would do if I was just starting out in this position. And the reason I'm saying that you need to join Future Flipper at this point is that you should not try and go find a deal and figure it out by yourself. You're gonna waste so much time and you're gonna lose out on so many deals because you just don't know enough. And I don't care how many of my YouTube videos you've watched or how many of my podcasts you listen to, there is nothing that is going to beat joining a coaching program and having somebody help you out, hold you accountable, and just be there on a day-to-day basis. And the reason I bring this up now is because if you're making $5,000 net a month flipping couches, you can afford to be in one of my coaching programs. We have payment plans that definitely work on the $5,000 a month budget. And what's funny is I've literally had students who have flipped couches in order to buy the coaching all up front, but they've literally flipped their way into the coaching program with couches, and then they've transitioned into flipping houses at much higher margins. So I know this method works because I've watched it happen in the last year many different times. Now, once you've joined the program, that leads to step 3, which is where you're going to start building out your house flipping or wholesaling business. Now, I don't want you to focus on rentals at this point. You don't have enough money. I've seen so many people who want to just start building up their rental portfolio right away, and they don't really have any active income or money saved. If you're gonna get in this business of entrepreneurship, the number one priority is figuring out how to create as much active income as possible when you're starting out. You don't need to worry about the things that I worry about with taxes and just all these different strategies. Your goal is simply one thing. Just make as much money as you can each year. Don't worry about all the other noise and things that the people who are at higher levels are doing. It doesn't apply to you. So the goal is not taxes, it's not rentals, it's simply getting as many deals as possible and making as much cash as you can today. Whether you flip the house, whether you wholesale the house, you need to just get cash today. And the thing is, all of these steps that you're taking to this point are building you up to become a millionaire in multiple ways. For one, when you're in the couch flipping game, you're not only learning how to find good deals, because you're just finding them with couches, but you're also learning how to sell and negotiate. By constantly negotiating these couches that you buy and constantly negotiating them when you sell them, it's teaching you how to do the exact same thing in real estate. I truly believe that I had so much success starting out with flipping houses after couches because of all the principles couch flipping taught me. I wasn't scared to talk to sellers because I had already talked to all these strangers on Craigslist when I was flipping couches. Also, I got to understand the neighborhoods and the areas in my market because I was picking up and delivering everywhere. So I'm not just saying couch flip because it can make you a lot of money really quick, even though that's really important. It's also teaching you really good principles for your real estate career. Now remember, during this time, you're still probably gonna be flipping couches as your active income, but you're also gonna be in Future Flipper learning the business and having a coach. And then you're gonna be building your business on the side. You're gonna start figuring out how to get more real estate deals. You're gonna figure out how to raise more money, how to build out your team of contractors, of escrow officers, of realtors, etc. And during this time in step 3, I would expect that you're gonna start getting deals, whether they be flips or wholesales, but the amount of money you're gonna make from those deals is gonna be far more than you were making flipping couches. And you might be thinking whether or not you should be flipping or wholesaling during this time. I can tell you, we teach our students that it's really up to you. For some people, they look only to wholesale because they don't have a lot of money, but then it makes it harder to find a deal because it's gotta be such a deeper discount. Whereas if they would flip, it opens them up to more opportunities because now they can buy from wholesalers, they can buy from realtors, and they don't have to get as big of a discount since they're not wholesaling. And so even though flipping might be intimidating to some who don't have a lot of money, it's still possible if you can just raise money, which is what we teach you. So I wouldn't have the mindset of, I'm just gonna go wholesale X amount of houses, then I'm gonna transition into flipping. I think you just need to hunt for good deals. And if you find a good deal, you might wholesale it if it's really good, or you might end up flipping it and finding a partner on it. And one of the big benefits is that in our Future Flipper program, we have so many students all across the country in different markets. So whatever market you're in, there's gonna be some other student in that market that you can potentially JV with, which is one of the reasons why I say, join the program before you go to this step 3. Now, once you start getting your business off the ground and it's rolling and you're getting deals, you can move on to step 4, which is to build your personal brand. That's right. I think that once you finally get this business going, you should start documenting the journey on social media. Now, 2 questions come up from this. The first is, should I just start documenting it earlier while I'm going through all this? I would say for most people, probably not. It's really difficult to go and flip couches, to go learn at our coaching program, and to go run your business while trying to make content. That's 4 separate things that are going on, and it's gonna be really hard to do all 4 of them at once. So I believe you should start your social media journey once you've got a good grip on your flipping business, and as you're transitioning out of the couch business. You're gonna free up a ton of time once you stop flipping couches and once you're totally focused on flipping, and you're gonna be able to start executing more content around the flipping since then. And the reason I think you should start building your personal brand at this period is because it's going to help your real estate business tremendously. By documenting your journey, you are now gonna be able to raise a lot more money with private lenders. You're gonna be able to get access to more deals because realtors and wholesalers are seeing you do business, and you're gonna have a better time getting the right people around you for your team. It's easier to find contractors, it's easier to find good realtors. Everything becomes easier with social media. And if you don't believe me, I am living proof of that. Whether it's a big apartment building I wanna buy with my fund. In fact, the 334 unit apartment we bought with Pineda Capital was strictly from social media. And we're now buying a 96 unit in Iowa that once again was from social media. And those are just examples of big deals. I've bought hundreds of deals on the single family side that were strictly from social media and people knowing who I was. But deals aren't the only part that social media brings. It also allows me to raise money much easier. To go back to the 334 unit apartment building, I didn't have $20 million to go buy that. But guess what? I had a lot of people who wanted to invest with me on that deal because of social media. And even as I was scaling my business at the beginning, my very first private money lender only came because I was documenting what I was doing on Facebook. I know it sounds crazy now because nobody likes Facebook anymore and people aren't using it, but back then, in 2015, 2016, I just started making videos about what I was doing with flipping houses, and one of my friends on Facebook had seen what I was doing, and after years of watching me, he finally said, "Ryan, I want to invest with you on some of these deals. What's it look like? And he was my very first private money lender that changed my life. And it's all because he saw what I was doing on social media. If I would have tried to hide it and not showcase what I was doing on the flips, he wouldn't have even known that there was an opportunity to do it. If you are not branding yourself in your market, someone else is, and someone else is getting the deals and the money. So if you want to do it, you might as well start making content and getting all that things for yourself. The other thing I wanted to say about this stage is that many people have the fear that they're not an expert in real estate. Well, I can tell you, there's a lot of YouTubers who've gotten really famous from just showcasing what they were doing, whether it was just one house, one deal, whatever. I have a theory that people would rather listen to somebody that is more relatable to them than somebody who seems unattainable. When I talk about buying a 334 unit apartment building, most people would say, I would never be able to do that. But if a normal person starts talking about how they just recently did their very first deal, they didn't know what they were doing, they were flipping couches, they had $0 a very short time ago, I think it gives more inspiration to the people watching that person because they can relate to them and they can see that it's possible. So don't think you have to be an expert when you're getting on social media. Just be transparent about what you do. I can tell you there's an audience for it who's really gonna enjoy it, and you're gonna get people who resonate with you. So don't let the fear of inexperience stop you from sharing the journey. Now, the other cool part about this fourth stage is that you're gonna now start growing pretty tremendously. You're gonna have stopped couch flipping, you're gonna be doing social media, you're gonna start growing your brand a little bit, you're gonna get more business opportunities, and your real estate business as a byproduct of all this is gonna start scaling. You're gonna have been in coaching for a longer period of time, you're gonna have gotten more experience, more confidence, and hopefully you should be doing a lot of deals each and every month. This fourth stage is gonna be different for everybody and how long it takes. It might take a year, it might take 6 months, but this is the stage where everything starts to grow and your life begins to change. And I would say that this stage is going to last until you're making at least $250,000 a year in active income. Once you hit that $250,000 mark, then you can progress to stage 5, which is where I would start taking some moonshots. So stage 5 is when you can actually start investing and figuring out how fast do you really want to grow. You now have a business that's sustainable, making you great income, and you can start converting some of these flips into rentals, which is great. I wouldn't try to keep as many as possible all at once. I would just pick one here or there because you're still not making enough where it makes sense to just keep everything as a rental, but you're able to pick a rental here or there and start investing in other things. Now, if I was gonna pick something beyond real estate to invest in at this stage, I would pick something that is more high risk, high reward. The reason I would do this is because I know real estate is pretty safe. It's about as safe as it gets because in the long run, it's gonna cash flow, it's gonna appreciate, you're gonna pay it down, you're gonna get tax benefits. All of this is great, but it's not gonna make you rich tomorrow or even a year from now. Like, it's gonna take time for that investment to really pay off. So to complement that, I would be investing in things that can get me a huge return if I guess right. And so for me, that would be NFTs at this point in time. This might be controversial, but if my goal is to be a millionaire as fast as possible, I'm taking those 4 steps, giving myself the right foundation, and then I'm starting to take some moonshot chances and try to hit that million in a year. And I don't think that there's any faster way than NFTs at the moment. It's during this stage that I would start researching different projects. I would be joining their different Discord communities. I'd really be immersing myself in the NFT culture, trying to figure out what are the best blue chip projects that people are really gonna go towards. I would start figuring out what kind of niche of NFTs I wanna go after and how I'm gonna get on these different whitelists. Personally, I think NFTs are going to explode the next few years. I think that they're gonna become mainstream adopted, and I believe that many of the things you see today are going to end up turning into NFTs. In the meantime, it's gonna be extremely volatile, just like the normal crypto market, but as time goes on, I think that prices are gonna explode, and if you pick the right ones, you can get some crazy gains. But here's the thing, I would not be putting all of your money in NFTs. I would still be prioritizing your flipping and wholesaling business. I would make sure that you have enough capital to operate those. I'd make sure you buy a rental property here or there in this stage. And then I would take some of that money and start buying up NFTs. If you've watched some of my NFT videos, then you know that I've bought NFTs in Neo Tokyo that cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars. Those are not the NFTs I'm telling you to buy at this stage. There are so many projects that mint for $200 to $500, and they end up 10 or even 100xing that price in just a few months. If you can diversify and put $500 on 10 different projects that you really like, then you're gonna be able to have a good chance at getting one that pops. Or if you follow your favorite influencers and you see which ones they're gonna launch that you believe have a great shot of succeeding because you followed the influencer or the brand, then those are the ones that I'd really go with. If you take, for instance, what Gary Vee has done with VeeFriends, he started off around $2,000, I think it meant, which is pretty costly, but if you follow Gary Vee and you believe in Gary Vee's vision, then $2,000 is not a ton of money for what you think he can bring to the table. And if you're wondering about what my NFT project is looking like, I plan to drop it in a few months. You guys will have to wait and see for it, but I'm really excited with all the things that we're bringing to the table. And I think you could get through all 5 steps in less than 2 years. And here's the deal. I truly would follow this if I was starting from zero today, not because I have the coaching program or anything else, but because this is exactly what I am doing today at a higher level, and you guys can do it much quicker than me because it's taken me years to figure out what path is right. The couch flipping gets you out of being broke. The real estate coaching and the real estate business give you something sustainable for the long haul. But by using this entire combination, I believe it gives you the best chance to have a long-term business structure, something that you can always rely on. But it also gives you the ability to become a millionaire really fast with all the different things going on in the plan. You're just giving yourself a lot of different chances to make some really big moves. And that's what it's all about. But anyways, if you want to join the coaching program, go to futureflipper.com and apply now. It's completely free. And I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.